and welcome to Miss Bird's economic class. We're going to be working on Unit 2 today, Demand and Supply. And for today's lesson, we're going to be learning about the equilibrium and how that factors into demand and supply lines. So for the first lesson, it's called Defining the Equilibrium. Now we might want to think about the word equilibrium and what does it mean exactly? Well, when we think about equilibrium, we can pretty much find out what it means by the word. It has equal in it, which means that when things are at equilibrium, it means that nothing is over the other. They're both equal. So we could define it, a very simple definition, as where things are equal. Okay? Now that's a very basic definition. Now, to get into equilibrium with economics, we're going to be looking at demand and supply lines. Alright? So now, let's look at a graph. We have our supply line, and we have our demand line. So now, you see that in the middle of these two lines, there is an intersection. There is a meeting point. This is very important because this dot right here that, ladies and gents, is our equilibrium. That is where, and this is a very important equation, so please write this down. It is where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. This is important. Make sure you know this. Alright? Where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. Right here in the middle, that is where we would draw our dot. So if I were to give you a question that asks you to draw the dot where the equilibrium is, this is where you would label it at. Alright? Easy enough. Now, let's look at an example. Here's an example. We have point A, point B, and point C. Our question is, where is the equilibrium? Which point is it? Is it A? Is it B? Or is it C? Now, if we look at our equation up here, we know that the equilibrium is where things are equal. It is where the quantity demanded will equal quantity supplied. So when we're looking at this example here, it has to be B. This is where the two lines intersect, and this is also where the two lines will be equal. Now, why is it important to figure out where the equilibrium is? Now, in economics, we have our consumers and our suppliers. The equilibrium is important because this is the point where the consumers will demand as much as a good and the suppliers will supply that good the equal amount. There will not be a shortage and there will not be a surplus of the good. There will be just enough for everyone to really be happy. It's kind of a perfect situation when you have an equilibrium. Okay? Now, if there are any questions that you have or any confusion that you have from watching this video, please rewatch it. Make sure that you take your notes so that you really understand this concept because it's very important moving forward within the lesson. Now, after you're done watching this video and you feel like you can 100% understand it, please take the mini quiz before moving on to the next tab. Thanks, guys!